Welcome to the 2019 Children's Book Council Book of the Year Awards announcement. I would like to present our Master of Ceremonies for today, Tony Wilson.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cbca 2019 Book of the Years Awards. Before we proceed any further, we actually are going to get an introduction from someone who is connected to the organisation. Could you please put your hands together for an official welcome from Margot Hillel, who is the chair of the Cbca board.
Thank you, Tony, and welcome to you all. As Tony says, and it says up there, I'm Margot Hillel, and I have the pleasure and honour of being the chair of the board of the Children's Book Council of Australia. As most of you know, the Children's Book Council of Australia began immediately after the end of World War II in 1945, at a time when Australian children's books were few and Australian authors and illustrators were virtually unknown. Now, of course, they're known and celebrated across the world. Entries have grown from a very small list of books in 1946 to well over 480 this year. And how the awards have changed and developed over the years. If you look back at the list of previous winners on the website, you can see the changes as new categories are entered and added, years when there were no winners in a particular category at all, the development of the shortlists and so on. Books in the country have grown and expanded in scope, in production values, sophistication and focus, away from where they still gave more than a passing nod to their English heritage, to becoming uniquely Australian, innovative, exciting and instantly recognisable as Australian. As the Cbca Book Week slogan said a couple of years ago, Australia truly is a story country. And it now gives me very great pleasure to announce the winner of this year's Nan Chauncey Award, named after Nan Chauncey, a noted Tasmanian children's author. This Cbca Biennial Award has been created to honour people who've made an outstanding contribution to the field of children's literature. The winner this year is James Maloney. James Maloney is indeed a very worthy recipient for the 2019 Nan Chauncey Award for his outstanding and committed contribution to Australian children's literature.
Thank you very much, Margot. I have to think about recognising myself on the way. I'd like to begin by thanking the Children's Book Council of Australia for the honour that they have bestowed upon me today. When I look and when I think of the many names among both writers and advocates for Australia's youth literature whose work deserves to be recognised, I feel both humble and especially proud to have been singled out. And many of those people I had in mind are sitting around behind me here and no doubt in the audience as well.
We're now going to have a musical interlude, and it's Alison Lester themed. It's Michelle Scully. She describes writing music for Alison Lester's books as creative heaven. Her vision is to help children develop a love of books through music. Today, Michelle's ensemble are before us. They are Scully's Singing Stories, and they're going to perform a song based on one of the shortlisted books in the early childhood category today, Tricky's Bad Day by Alison Lester.
Tricky woke early when it was still night. He didn't call out or turn on the light, but his bottle was empty and Tilly's was too, so he set out to fill them like Mama would do. In the kitchen, the milk spilled all over the floor. Tricky slipped and he slid and his head hit the door. He woke Mum and Dad, Matilda and Frankie, and now the whole family was cross-tied and cranky. Back to bed, growled Dad. And I mean right away. It wasn't a very good start to the day.
We're about to get to our awards section shortly, but I wanted to welcome and introduce the Book of the Year judges for this year. So here we go. Older readers, 78 titles. Please put your hands together for Pauline McLeod, Emily Phillips from South Australia, and Anne-Marie Strother. Have we got any of those in the room? Younger readers, 121 books. Felicia Harris from the ACT, Margaret McKay Lowndes from Queensland, and Tricia Scott from Tasmania. Early childhood, 121 titles. Amanda Cooper from Victoria, Claire Elliott, there's Amanda. Claire Elliott from New South Wales, and Christy Giannetti from the Northern Territory. The Picture Book of the Year, 149 titles. Denise Cramsey from New South Wales, Joe Pankridge from Victoria. Joe, yes. And Kieran Sampson from the ACT. In the Eve Parnell category, that's the Information Book Award, 51 titles. Julie Long from the ACT, Brooke Taylor from Victoria. Brooke, there she is. And Kristen Toomey from New South Wales. And in the Cbca Award for a New Illustrator, 31 titles. Nairi Brown from Victoria. Nairi's here. There she is. Kathy Kozlowski from Victoria. Kathy, there she is. And Mark Martin from Victoria. Mark. Excellent. So that is an incredible amount of work, great dedication to the cause of the CBCA and children's literature. 415 creators entering, 111 first-time creators, 14 Indigenous creators and 43 self-published works and 65 publishing houses. Well done, everyone, for participation in this year's awards.
We are here to acknowledge and congratulate the shortlisted authors in the older readers category. They are Claire Atkins for Between Us, published by Black Ink Books. Sarah Epstein for Small Spaces, published by Walker Books Australia. Karen Foxley for Lenny's Book of Everything, published by Allen and Unwin.
Scott Gardner for Changing Gear, published by Allen and Unwin. Stephen Herrick for The Bogan Mondrian, published by the University of Queensland Press. And Sharon Curnow, today represented by Jane Pearson for The Art of Taxidermy, published by Text Publishing. Please put your hands together for the shortlisted books.
Now it's time to announce the honour books for the older readers category. We ask the recipients to step forward when their name is called to receive their certificate. They are Sarah Epstein for Small Spaces, published by Walker Books Australia. And Karen Foxley for Lenny's Book of Everything, published by Allen and Unwin.
Now we're excited to announce the winner. The winner for older readers category is Claire Atkins for Between Us, published by Black Ink Books. Congratulations.
Growing up, it felt rare to find a novel that reflected my experience of living between parents, between cultures, between worlds. When I did find a rare gem that portrayed this tentative balancing act, I would read it over and over, soaking in the reassurance that lay beneath the words, "You are not alone." In Between Us, I wanted to personalise the debate around multiculturalism and immigration, which is often simplistically defined as white Australia versus boat people. In reality, modern-day Australia is a nation of immigrants, and many teenagers of mixed culture struggle to define what it means to be from here. Representation of this new diverse reality in literature, particularly youth literature, is vital. In writing this novel, I had the honour of working with Shakoufe Kavani, a wonderful Iranian writer and artist. When I asked if she wanted to contribute to this speech, she said, "I appreciate what Claire has done, writing a book in which one of the main characters is an Iranian girl. a girl from a country unknown and mostly badly portrayed by the Western media. I hope the next generation of Australians will have a different view about Iranian people and that one day you'll all visit Iran and see it for yourself. I'm touched that Claire has not only pictured this country and its people in a beautiful way, but has put them in the centre of a love story, as love changes everything. I'd like to say a special thank you to asylum seeker advocate Natasha Blucher, the refugees, asylum seekers and workers who shared their stories, my editor Aviva Tuffield, publisher Black Ink, agent Elizabeth Troyer, and the supportive and vibrant Australian YA community, including the other shortlisted and notable authors on this year's amazing list. To the young adults, teachers, librarians and booksellers who make up and support the next generation of readers, thank you. To the Australia Council and Arts NT, your funding helped make this possible. This novel was written over several years that were very challenging for me personally. Thank you to my parents, Pip and Bin, and my children, Louis, Rosa and Nina, for their love and unwavering support. And finally, to the judges and the Children's Book Council of Australia, there is no greater honour for me than winning this award, following in the footsteps of decades of writers whose works have given me comfort and inspiration and helped me redefine what is possible for people growing up in the in-between. Thank you.
We're moving on to our next category, and this is the Younger Reader shortlisted category.
We are here to acknowledge and congratulate the shortlisted authors in the Younger Readers. They are Ursula Dubasarski for Brenda Bella, illustrator Andrew Joyner, and published by Allen and Unwin. Lorraine Marwood for Leave Taking, published by University of Queensland Press. Carl Merrison and Hakia Hustler for Black Cockatoo, published by Magabala Books.
Jacqueline Moriarty for The Slightly Alarming Tale of the Whispering Wars, published by Allen and Unwin. Carly Nugent for The Peacock Detectives, published by Text Publishing. Emily Rodder for His Name Was Walter, published by HarperCollins Publishers.
Now it is time to announce the honour books for Younger Readers category. They are Carl Merrison and Hakia Hustler for Black Cockatoo, published by Magabala Books. And Carly Nugent for The Peacock Detectives, published by Text Publishing.
Now we're excited to announce the winner. The winner of the Younger Readers category is Emily Rodder for His Name Was Walter, published by HarperCollins Publishers. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's hard to express how much this award means to me. It's 35 years this year since my first book, Something Special, was published by Angus and Robertson. That book, what was then called the Cbca Junior Book of the Year Award. But the result was that I was encouraged to think that whatever my doubts, I could actually be a writer, or at least that it wouldn't be silly to try. I've written many books since then, and there have been other awards and other honours. And when, as I often do these days, I meet adults who read my books when they were children and hear the things they say, those things sometimes make me feel that no honour could possibly be greater. Today is, however, very special to me. His Name Was Walter was one of the most magical experiences of my writing life. It combines my three great loves: fantasy, magical reality, and mystery. And moving in and out of the tale of Walter's life are reflections of my husband Bob's life as an orphan boy a long time ago. It seems absolutely right to see Walter published under the same imprint, Angus and Robertson, as the book that began what has been a long and wonderful adventure for me. I am so grateful to publisher Lisa Berryman and the HarperCollins team for bringing this book into being so beautifully. It's no wonder that Jess Cruikshank won the Australian Design Award for the Best Designed Children's Book. 35 years on, I'm not very much more sure of myself than I was when Something Special was published. My deepest thanks, therefore, to Bob and the family for putting up with my occasional despairs so lovingly, and to Dean Blacklock, my agent, for the same reason, and to Celia Jellett for being the best editor an author could have, and to the judges of this award for encouraging me to think that whatever my doubts, I can go on being a writer, or at least that it won't be silly for me to try. Thank you.
We move to our next category, and I have it as the early childhood thank you helpers.
We are here to acknowledge and congratulate the shortlisted authors in the early childhood category. They are John Canty for Heads and Tails, Insects, published by Burbay Publishing. Patrick Guest, Illustrator, Nathaniel Ekstrom for The Dress Up Box, published by Hardy Grant Egmont. Stephen Michael King for Rainbow Bear, published by Scholastic Australia. Alison Lester for Noni the Pony Rescues a Joey, published by Allen and Unwin. Alison Lester for Tricky's Bad Day, published by Affirm Press. Toby Riddle for Here Comes Stinkbug, published by Allen and Unwin. Now it is time to announce the honour books for the early childhood category. We ask the recipients to step forward when their name is called to receive their certificate. They are John Canty for Heads and Tails, Insects, published by Burbay Publishing. Toby Riddle for Here Comes Stinkbug, published by Allen and Unwin. Now we are excited to announce the winner. The winner for the early childhood category is Alison Lester for Tricky's Bad Day, published by Affirm Press. Congratulations.
I'm very, very happy that Tricky's Bad Day has won the early childhood category in this year's Cbca Book of the Year Awards. There are many beautiful books made in Australia, and it feels very lucky that one of mine is a winner. Tricky is very close to my heart, responding directly to the sudden explosion of grandchildren in our lives. We've had 7 in 4 years. I love spending time with them. It's exhausting, wild, funny, tender, and always unpredictable. I love the way little kids can be so cranky and unreasonable. Mind you, I didn't think this was so funny when my own kids were little. And I love the way a walk in the wild always brings out the best in them. It's true, you take out a grumpy monster and bring back a happy, calm angel.
I think I tried to jump the gun on this one, but now is the category of Picture Book of the Year. And we could welcome our authors, our illustrators, and our publishers to the stage. Thank you.
We are here to acknowledge and congratulate the shortlisted illustrators in the Picture Book of the Year. They are Freya Blackwood, text by Margaret Wild for The Feather, published by Hardy Grant Egmont. Armin Greta for The Mediterranean, published by Allen and Unwin. Elise Hurst, text by Lucia Still for Girl on Wire, published by Penguin Random House Australia.
Mandy Ord, text by Margaret Wild for Chalk Boy, published by Allen and Unwin. Michael Speechley for the all-new must-have Orange 430, published by Penguin Random House Australia. Sean Tan for Cicada, published by Hatchet Australia.
Now it is time to announce the honour books for the Picture Book of the Year category. They are Michael Speechley for the all-new must-have Orange 430, published by Penguin Random House Australia. Armin Greta for The Mediterranean, published by Allen and Unwin.
Now we're excited to announce the winner. The winner for the Picture Book of the Year category is Sean Chan for Cicada, published by Hatchet Australia.
So Sean's not here today, but his publisher is. So please put your hands. What's your name again?
Isabel.
Isabel's going to speak to us. Here she is.
Hi. Sean asked me to say a few words on his behalf. I very much remember the Book Week displays at Lynburner Primary School, north of Perth, circa 1983, especially that quasi-religious looking Book Council logo on so many stickers. Who was this council of wise elders in some faraway parliament, having deep conversations in large rooms with massive bookshelves and overstuffed furniture? I wondered what they would think of my own texture-infused literary thrills, Mission to Mars, poems, and even more poems, and the grammatically incorrect War in Future Technology. Finally, I know. Council approved, well, not those books so much, but one that followed some 40 years later, which I am happy to say is still grammatically incorrect. To say a bit about Cicada, the image of a big bug working in an office has haunted me for many years, and it's very cathartic that I finally wrestled it into a book. Only then did I realise that this story might have something to do with my father, who worked tirelessly as an architect all his professional life, in spite of imperfect English and communication skills. Even as a kid, I wondered if his extraordinary patience and diligence were fully appreciated at work. And while I don't want to overstate the casual racism towards Asians in Perth in that time, it was certainly something lurking in the background, as it does for new minorities today, and as it will for other groups tomorrow. But what has impressed me about Dad is how little he seems bothered by it. He just got on with being a good architect, husband and father, and then, after retirement, he disappeared into his jungle-like backyard of overgrown fruit trees and exotic vegetables. Mum reports occasional sightings, enough to confirm that he's thriving and doing well. I think we all know someone like this in our homes, workplaces or schoolyards, and in any place where bullying and the follies of human politics find their targets. It's difficult to remain resolute and kind-hearted in the face of these injustices, which is why it's so inspiring to see others who manage it, who maintain their own dignity in undignified times, who always keep their eye on the forest and, like a big green bug, just don't care so much what other people think of their exoskeletons. It's going to get shed anyway, sooner or later. Many thanks to Helen Chamberlain, who advised me on the first drafts of this story, and to my agent, Sophie Byrne, who helped move it beyond that, to Suzanne O'Sullivan and the team at Hachette, who supported this book with such enthusiasm and humour, becoming very good at writing emails in Cicada language from their Upper Sydney offices. Talk, talk, talk. To my wife, Inari Kiuru, for advice and support, and to our daughter, for reminding me how books work, that kids read books to adults, not just the other way around. And of course, to the Cbca, to the keen readers and good book folk industry who so generously help us writers and artists tell our stories. And I also just wanted to say how especially wonderful the shortlisted books are this year. Each of them a worthy winner, and I'm grateful to be included in such company. Thank you.
We move on to the Eve Parnell, which is the information category.
We are here to acknowledge and congratulate the shortlisted authors in the Eve Parnell Award category. They are Rowan Cleve, illustrator Coral Tulloch for Bouncing Back an Eastern Bard Bandicoot Story, published by CSIRO Publishing. Mark Greenwood, illustrator Andrew McLean for The Happiness Box, a wartime book of hope, published by Walker Books Australia. Donna Rawlins, illustrators Mark Jackson and Heather Potter for Waves, published by Walker Books Australia.
Kate Ryan, illustrator Callie Burnett for Make Believe MC Escher for Kids, published by the National Gallery of Victoria. Sienna Stubbs Raw Birds, Nila Muragu in Mulanya, published by the Magabala Books. Coral Voss, illustrator Dub Leffler for Sorry Day, published by the National Library of Australia. Please put your hands together for the shortlisted books.
They are Mark Greenwood, illustrator Andrew McLean for The Happiness Box, a wartime book of hope, published by Walker Books Australia. Kate Ryan, illustrator Kelly Burnett for Make Believe MC Escher for Kids, published by National Gallery of Victoria.
We are now excited to announce the winner. The winner for the Eve Parnell Award category is Coral Voss, illustrator Dub Leffler for Sorry Day, published by the National Library of Australia.
Well, what an honour it is to win this amazing award. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Children's Book Council of Australia and to the judges for putting Sorry Day in the spotlight. I'm delighted for this book. I'm delighted for the recognition of the stolen generations of Australia and the platform that this award allows for truth-telling in this country. A massive thank you to Dub Leffler. For the incredible and humble man that you are. It was an absolute joy to partner with you. And I am blessed to call you my friend. Thank you for being willing to illustrate this book. I know it was an emotional and at times difficult journey for you. Thank you for your stunning illustrations that brought this book to life and made it what it is, because without you, there would be no book. Thank you to our amazing publisher, Susan Hall, from the National Library of Australia, and to the team there. Thank you for having the courage to publish this book. Thank you for producing such a beautiful book, and thank you for being the best publisher to work with. And finally, to my wonderful husband and to my family for their constant love and their support. Sorry Day is, in essence, an educational resource for young Australians. In that one powerful word, sorry, there is hope that what has been would never be again. And these conversations, they're not easy to have, they're not comfortable to have, but they are essential to have. It's truth-telling. It's the history of us all, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. And as we move forward as a nation, I'm convinced that it is only in acknowledging past wrongs that forgiveness is facilitated, healing can begin, and reconciliation can be achieved.
It is with great honour that I accept this award with Coral for a story which really should never have been written. It should not exist. But in saying so, I'm glad that it is a tale that we are not ignoring and that we are sharing with the world. I humbly thank the wonderful souls at the National Library, most notably Susan Hall, the publisher, for taking on this book, as well as the designer Amy Cullen and the editor Irma Gold for helping fashion Sorry Day into reality. This is the most important book that I've ever worked on, and I cried a lot when I illustrated it. Now, dear Coral, thank you for being such a decent human being and seeing the necessity for writing Sorry Day, a book about some of us, but for all of us. So, thank you.
We now get to our final award for the day, and it's one that's called the Cbca Award for New Illustrator.
We are here to acknowledge and congratulate the shortlisted authors in the Cbca Award for New Illustrator category. They are Matt Chun for Australian Birds, published by Hardy Grant Egmont. Daniel Gray Barnett for Grandma Z, published by Scribble. Tanya Harricks for Dingo, published by Walker Books Australia.
Alison Langton for The Singing Seal, published by Firm Press. Samantha Metcalf for Carmichael's Journey, published by Little Steps Publishing. Jane Reisiger for Red House, Blue House, Greenhouse, Treehouse, published by Firm Press. Now we are excited to announce the winner. The winner of the Cbca Award for New Illustrator category is Daniel Gray Barnett for Grandma Z, published by Scribble.
Congratulations.
Thank you to the Cbca as well as the judges for this incredible honour. A big thank you to my publisher, Miriam Rosenblum, and all the team at Scribble Kids for their faith in my work and giving me the opportunity to bring Grandma Z to life. It's probably fitting that this book didn't start with a manuscript at all or even a story, but just some illustrations I did of the characters just for fun. I posted them to my Instagram and thought that would be the end of it. Miriam saw them and convinced me that these characters had a really good story to tell. So we did. I'm very grateful, Mary, for your vision. Working on Grandma Z has opened up doors in my career. My earliest memory of falling in love with books was in grade 2, when my teacher, Miss Wooten, was reading to us the BFG. Of course, there's no question that Roald Dahl's stories are so captivating, but for me, the thing that really hooked me onto this book thing was Quentin Blake's illustrations. Something about his scratchy drawings of a big-eared giant sparked my imagination. It was magical, and I was, and still am really, in love. It was a stepping stone to imagining the rest of that world for myself. So for me, and I imagine a lot of other kids, illustration was and is an equally powerful way of connecting with stories and growing a love of books. So to all the teachers, librarians, and booksellers who champion illustration and visual literacy with their students and kids, thank you so much. What you do really makes a difference. I'd like to commend the other artists and their terrific work. What they do is so unique and skillful, and it's difficult, and it's important work. I'm very proud to be part of such a talented group. Lastly, I just want to thank my lovely husband up there. I'd find it really hard to do what I do without you, so thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone. Congratulations to all our winners. Well done, Cbca. And happy Book Week.
May you, my baby, be kissed by